All right, today is gonna just be one of those types of videos. This morning on the morning session, I was in the middle of working and kind of watching the charts and looking for setups. Since I have a very strict setup now that I'm looking for, it's not a big deal for me to not be 100% focused because I can just glance at the charts. If I don't see my setup, I'm still just sitting around on my hands. So wasn't really able to record that session. I did end up having a losing trade. So then I decided to give myself a second chance again and take one in the afternoon. For anyone new, we are on a funded Apex account, 50K account. I trade 5 micro NASDAQ contracts at a time. And based off of ICT's Fair Value Gap 2022 model. So if you're interested in that, he explains it way better in all of his videos. But let's go over the 2 trades I did take today. You'll also get to see how much money we left on the table because I longed this afternoon and we are still running higher. So that will be interesting by the time we get there. So this morning, oopsie, you kind of saw. This morning, we're just ripping up, not seeing anything really. However, we have a strong down close candle right here. We have a fair value gap. It took out this swing, which in hindsight, I would really like to see swings like this taken out versus this one where it's like we're still moving up. It was just a little tiny. It technically is a swing low, but I think I need to see more of a strong like pivot like that or like this, like any of those. But like this swing low right here, if that gets taken out, which that's exactly what happened here, I don't think I need to avoid that setup. Technically, it does match the requirements, but shouldn't have taken it. You can see I shorted at 222, and we just ripped up, and I had my stop up here, so that was a $200 loss right there. Looking on the 2-minute chart, that was what time was that? A little after 10. That was this move right here on the 2-minute chart. There's nothing there. There's no setups. So that wasn't a strong enough swing to be taken out. So I see that now. That's why we have stops in place. That's why we have good risk management and try to not let it affect us. I sat around watching this all morning there. I was waiting for the reversal to come start hitting some of these swings, but we never got it. There's another fair value gap, but again, we're not taking anything out, so no setup for me. And there were no setups going long either, except for on the 5-minute where I don't take any trades anyways. Back right at 10:05, we have a fair value gap, taking out a swing high, and we could have entered inside this fair value gap with a stop beneath this red order block, and we never came down and touched it. So that was probably the only move, but I'm not taking any trades off the 5-minute anyways. I'm strictly doing the 2 and 1 minute charts. So now I know, like, that's not a strong enough swing to be considered in my setup. So let's skip through to the lunch session. We are just grinding. So the lunch session created these lows right here. And you guys don't have to believe me, but I have it in a message. I told a friend of mine, after the lunch session is over, this is something ICT said, the lunch session will create false supports or false resistance. And I said, once the lunch is over, I think we're going to run down and hit these stops before we continue higher. Just because, I mean, we're just grinding all day and it's just wanting to, there's nothing on the daily from a long time ago that we're really going to hit any resistance at. So we're just grinding up. So the lunch session created these false supports. We broke down through them and then we continue higher. And you can see my entry right there. We have a fair value gap on the 1 minute. And when I have two candles like this with two little fair value gaps, I think it's okay to treat that as one big fair value gap. So from that low to this high, and then putting your stop down here. Again, this fair value gap took out this swing. And now that we're in the afternoon session, there's not as much volatility. I'm not expecting a huge fair value gap to take something out in the afternoon. Just enough to let us know, hey, I want to go higher, or hey, I want to go lower. So we jumped in on the retest at 84. My target was up in the 30s, running the highs, and you guessed it, I could not hold on that long. As soon as we had it started getting, when we were up here, we were at $300 in profit on this trade, and that would take us from a red day to a green day. That started getting in my mind. I'm like, well, I don't want to give this up. I'm just going to take it. And my exit was at 34, and you can see we're just 30 points now above my exit, above my original exit, and I only took 30 points on this. We could be up a lot more. So it is what it is. Yesterday we had a really good day. Today wasn't going to try to be too greedy, but after the one red trade, I needed to give myself a second chance, just like I did yesterday, and I think that's paying out, or playing out. I think I need to take one trade in the morning. If it's green, be done. If it's red, give myself one other opportunity in the afternoon. If there's a setup, take it. And if it's red, you're done. If it's green, great. But again, this is just another one of those trades that is teaching me I need to hold on to my exits. The exits I point out are the exits the market ends up hitting. The trade isn't always a green trade, but that's what my risk management is for and my stop. So next we need to work on holding to my original exit when I get into the trade. So yeah, that was my day. Tell me about your day. And we will see you tomorrow.